Good morning, good evening, good afternoon. Welcome back to another episode of the A&M Podcast. I am joined, as always, my brother Matt is in the building. How we feeling today?
Better than last week.
Hey, Matt, I still argue. Last week didn't sound too bad.
Dude,
Like, I knew you were
got
sick,
off,
but like,
I got off the podcast, sat on my couch, and then proceeded not to move for the rest of the weekend.
I mean,
I'm running my Pokemon Gauntlet, man.
I feel
Also,
that.
I've said this before. Mr. Mime
Insane.
dog walks Fire Red Leaf Green. Like, you can solo the entire game with just Mr. Mime. Like, it's kind of insane. The amount of poison types in that game, and the amount of, like, rock and ground types in that game. And then he just sets up the barriers. So if you could do, like, a combo of, like, Nidoking and Mr. Mime, you kind of walk through the entire game. You need a water type, so maybe start with Squirtle.
Everybody should start with Squirtle anyway. Water types.
You should start with Squirtle because it makes the first gym super easy. And then by that point, and then you have like a pretty good resist because Squirtle gets bite. So technically the second gym is fine. And then you can very easily get a Nidoking that can learn Dig for the second gym or for the third gym. And then at that point you can go and get Mr. Mime, and then the game's everything's a poison type.
The
only grass type that isn't a poison type, I think, is Tangela.
And she sucks. Reptangela.
Yeah, right? Like,
But like,
which, okay, cool. I have my poison type Nidoking.
Oh man. What was I about to say? How far did you get in Fire Red Leaf Green last week in your couch
Last
adventures?
week, I've just been playing it like a little on and off. Last weekend I made it to the Sevi Islands, and then finished. I'm in Victory Road right now.
Mm-hmm.
I'm in the what level should I be at to have fun in the Elite Four, because I'm not going to 63, and I think because I'm running Dragonite, I think I'm just gonna get everyone up to 55 and then send it, because I have a really balanced. Mr. Mime makes the team so balanced, so I'm like, let's just rock it like seven or 8 levels down, because I was gonna do 60 and then I was like, nah, I'm gonna get bored at 55. We're gonna get Dragonite and then full send it.
Full send. Dragonite's shot to Dragonite, man. It's when we're talking about like cool versus cute for the whole Pokemon Yu-Gi-Oh thing last week, Dragonite's one of the best examples because he is our OG dragon, and people are gonna not like this comment.
You know what's been my favorite, and I wish I got one with slightly better stats, but I've been playing with Snorlax, and I didn't realize the level 30 Snorlax has a really, really good moveset in that game. I think it's like Headbutt, Rest, Snore, and Yawn when you catch it. And I was like, this is really good. As just like I get it with these moves. I'm like playing against it. It's using a Yawn stall on me. I get it down super low. It rests back to full. I discovered that Snore flinches. And I'm like, oh, okay. So my whole team's asleep. The thing's catch rate is like hard to hang on to because I gotta get it all the way back fucking down. And it's dealing a shit ton of physical damage with Headbutt. It has 2 moves that can flinch me. Why is this actually demon? And so because I originally was like, I had never played this game with the knowledge of the physical special split. And so I went, oh, Ghost is physical. I'm going to teach Snorlax Shadow Ball. and then walk through Sabrina because his special defense is so high. And if he gets too low, I'll rest him back to full HP and then snore until I wake up. You know,
Yeah, no, that's
like the only thing that makes him better is if I quick claw him because he's a little slow. And I'm
like a little slow for Snorlax.
yeah, right. I'm like,
So that's a nice way of putting him.
He's like never really going first, so the flinch doesn't always hit. But yeah, so you quick claw Snorlax, and then you're like, okay, sleepy baby, let's go. And then you get the fun thing of getting to gamble. Is it going to be a turn 2 or a turn 3 wake up? And you're like, all right, I'm feeling, because you snore twice, and you're like, does he wake up now or does he wake up after this turn?
Oh, because snore doesn't do anything, yeah.
No, snore does do thing. Yeah, snore doesn't do anything unless you're asleep.
Mm-hmm.
And so I'm like, let's body slam. And then he wakes up and I'm like, bam, baby, let's go. Like,
can you, I know if you get put to sleep, you can get like, I don't know what the percentage is, but you can get like the rare like 1 turn sleep. Can you get 1 turn sleep if you put yourself to sleep though?
Yeah. That's how I know that's how I know it's a bad it's a bad time for Snorlax.
This motherfucker is sleeping right the fuck back up.
But like, we didn't. I was like, I'm just trying to have fun with this run, you know. So I have like, I'm playing with like more utility moves. Ninetales only exists for flamethrower, and just because I'm like, there's really like no use for fire after the 4th gym. Like seriously. So Ninetales is unfortunately kind of a dead spot on my team, but I taught it dig just in case, and then I forgot dig is not teleport. So I was like, fuck. All right, whatever. Because I got no flyer.
Dig is not teleport.
Right now. Huh?
What were you trying? Dig is not teleport. What were you trying to use dig in the context of?
I was trying to dig off a root.
Oh, like when you're in a cave. Yeah, wait, is that only Gen 1 that works?
I don't think that worked in Gen 1. I think it's just caves.
But you can still dig yourself out of caves.
I think it works like an escape rope, yeah, because you can't escape rope off a root either, which, again, it makes total sense. Charizard couldn't fly, but Doduo could fly in Gen 1. Let's be real. Like, that was Gen 1 logic. So why wouldn't I think I could dig my way out of the root?
Mind you, Gyarados can learn fly, right?
Gyarados couldn't learn fly. Still can't.
Can he learn fly? He can't learn fly now?
Nope.
Man, it'd be so fucking funny if Gyarados could fly. Could you imagine how fucking terrifying that would be? Just seeing Gyarados fly a fucking 10-year-old off a rock.
Right? You're like, where is he? And you're like hanging on. I've always been surprised. I was like, why don't they just give Gyarados fly? He's already a flying type. Like,
and he's got to eat it in the worst way.
Yeah, I'm like, just give him fly. Like, you gave Charizard fly, which makes sense. Charizard has wings. But
Gyarados does. I mean, why is Gyarados a flyer? If we're being honest, he does.
Because he's supposed to be like a Chinese dragon.
Yes.
But like, I'm like, okay, cool. Gyarados can fly. Let him, just give him fly. Like, don't put him in the same category as Mantine.
Oh, Jesus. Is Mantine a water flyer?
Water flyer, yeah. But I don't think Mantine can learn fly. If I'm wrong about that, that's really funny. Mantine in Gen 8. Oh, wait, no. We want to go to Gen
2?
We want to go somewhere where you use a HM. So let's try 5. Mantine cannot learn fly.
Poor Mantine. You're like the wrong type, and because Gyarados' existence, it's like impossible to ever justify you. It's just like there's just a better water flyer that exists, and it's not even good enough typing to like double down on it.
Yeah, that's my thing also though. I've been watching a lot of Platinum Kaizo content since it just dropped. And there's like the thing I love about Kaizo games is how they make Pokemon you don't really think are good.
They upgrade them.
They either upgrade them like stat wise, or they put them at points in the game where you're like, oh, this Pokemon's actually like kind of a threat here. Oh, I'm only fighting like a level 10 Nidoran, but I gave it Poison Jab. And that is the equivalent of like a 200 power move at that point in the game when the level cap's 16. And you're like, okay, cool. Okay, so Nidoran's a threat.
The people that make the ROM hacks, I think the thing that I liked the most about them, because I was iffy on ROM hacks when I first found out about them, and I was just like, whatever, I'll look into it later, and I kind of kept pushing it off. And then I started getting exposed to them through a YouTuber that I like to watch, and he started playing some of them. I think one of the things I noticed is like they genuinely like Pokemon, and so when they do make these upgrades to Pokemon that normally aren't worth a damn, it's like, okay, that's cool, because you could have, like for the Black and White games, what the fuck are they call Black and Volt 2? Yeah, I think Volts are what the Black and White remakes are. There's a very obvious, like, Gen 5 is well established on, like, who's great, who's not. And they're like, what if we just kind of tweak them down a little bit and we tweak some of these guys that people don't normally play with up? And I'm like, okay, that is cool. That shows an interest in the generation, in the game, beyond just going, yeah, we know who the heavy hitters are. Like, we know, like, starter-wise, like, all three of those starters are fucking nuts. There's not a bad starter in Gen 5.
Yeah.
Is that the best... And then we'll talk about Avatar. Is that the best set of starters from a competitive standpoint? Torterra, Empoleon, and Infernape.
That's not Gen 5.
Who's Gen 5 that I just hyped up?
Emboar, Samurott, and Serperior.
I love Samurott.
The worst.
That's I was like, I love Samurott. Oh man. Gen 4 then.
I think Gen 4 might have... I don't know from a competitive standpoint, but I do think in terms
competitive in-game, not competitive for VCG.
Yeah, I think you get a different experience in that game depending on your starter. The best. I think you get the best differentiating experience, mainly because Water Steel is really good. Grass Ground is a really balanced type, and you get Earthquake at such a great point in that game.
Learning Earthquake by level up is insane.
And then there's like
starter.
And then there's no fire types in Gen 4. So having a fire type's kind of hype.
No, you get Ponyta. That's it, but you get
That's
Ponyta.
true. You do get
Rapidash.
Magby sometimes, Mark, depending on your game.
Hey, look, man. It's a
Oh yeah, you have to trade for Magmortar.
I saw that's another one I watched, and because the guy that I watched do Nuzlocke, and now it's my least interesting kind of Nuzlocke, I'll be honest, because he'll do some where it is like, I think it is Gen 4 was literally just Infernape and Rapidash, and he's like, can I beat the game with just these two? And I'm like, to me, obviously, like I've said before, like actually catching Pokemon and evolving Pokemon, like I don't like single stage Pokemon. I want to be able to evolve. I want to get different matchups. Even if I type lock myself, like I then start looking at, okay, what are the secondary types? But only 2 fires, and he doesn't do post game. So I think because Magby's post game in those
In Platinum?
No, in Black and White.
In Black and White, no. Magby is in Black and White 2 or Black and White. Black and White's post, and by post I think you have to trade in Magby.
Okay, yeah. So he. Just Infernape and Rapidash.
In Black and White?
Yeah.
How do you get Infernape?
No, isn't that what we just said? Gen 4 is Infernape?
Yeah, but that's not Black and White. Black and White's Gen 5.
Okay, so I wasn't sure. No, because I thought we just said. Okay, hold up a second. Am I tripping?
Diamond,
I said
Pearl,
Gen.
Platinum, Gen 4. Black, White, Gen 5.
Who was the
Diamond,
starter
Pearl.
in Gen 5?
Are you fucking with me?
I'm dead as I know. I've got myself fucked up here. Hold up.
Tepig, Oshawott are black and white.
Okay, so there's Gen 4.
Turtwig, Chimchar, Piplup, Gen 4. Diamond,
And that's
Pearl,
Diamond.
Platinum.
Okay. I'm about to look this up. Hold up a second. I'm trying to make sure I'm not.
What the fuck are you looking up?
I'm tripping on like if he did. So
There's no chapter this week.
There's not, and we're Antler Boy. Hold up a second. I think this is it. Yeah. Okay. Yeah. So it's Diamond, and it's okay. So it's just Diamond, and it's just Infernape and Rapidash essentially, and you go through the whole game like that. Which again, these are the ones I like the least, only because again I like actually seeing the teams get built, and I like seeing part of that. I'm sending this. I just want to make sure that I'm all fucked up. I just I'm back and forth 4 and 5 in my head.
Platinum gave you the lovely addition of Eevee, which gave you Flareon, and then Magmar you can get at Ironworks, at Fuego Ironworks, and that gives you another fire type. So you get a total of what, four fire types, maybe a fifth one that I'm forgetting, but and it's not Rotom.
Shout out to Rotom.
Because Rotom in Gen 4 was always Electric Ghost, if I'm remembering right. Even when
they didn't have
even in fire form. He was Electric.
When's the catalog come out for Rotom? What gen is that?
Gen 4.
That is Gen 4, okay. But he didn't start switching types until
Gen 5.
That's when he he's high key. Rotom is like one of the best Nuzlocke Pokemon ever, just because of versatility. And I think because he always stays a ghost, but he just switches between electric, grass, and what's the fridge? Is fridge water or ice?
It was water, ice, grass, fire.
So he can go all four, but he always keeps ghost typing, right?
Flying was the other one, yeah. So in Gen 4, he was Electric Ghost no matter what he possessed. Going on afterwards, he would drop Ghost and pick up the appliance.
Oh, he drops Ghost.
Yeah, he drops Ghost. Yeah, he becomes like, that's why like Rotom Fan is an electric flyer. I'll double check that actually. I've never used Rotom, but I think I'm right on that one.
I thought he kept Ghost because that was what because again, this guy that I watch, he's used Rotom a shit ton, but I never really. It's kind of hard to keep track of because he's done so many fucking playthroughs of which one, so I don't know exactly what typing he keeps.
Gen 4 Rotom is Electric Ghost no matter what appliance he picks up in Gen 4. In Gen 5, the appliance, Rotom drops the Ghost and then becomes the appliance.
So it's like a full on possession.
Electric Flying is so strong, in my opinion.
Who's fake Zapdos in Gen 8? I never played with him much, but it's the new bird, but he's basically just fake Zapdos.
Oh, I was like Galarian Zapdos.
No, he's just insane Zapdos.
Are you talking about Kilowattrel?
Yeah,
Wattrel and Kilowattrel.
That fucker's huge, by the way.
Is that Gen 8 or Gen 9?
Scarlet, I get these fucked up all the time. Scarlet and Violet's Gen 8, right?
Scarlet Violet's Gen 9.
Oh, then yeah, Gen 9.
It's early. It's fine.
Look, man, I just got confused on Gen 4 and 5 for like about 2 minutes straight. And I went,
what's that?
Avatar is out, man.
Oh yeah.
Kind of.
Movie's great, by the way.
Have you seen it?
Yeah, I did see it.
I have like one spoiler I know from it.
Can I tell you why I watched this movie? I usually don't like watching a torrent. I watched this movie because Paramount does not deserve praise. right now.
That's fair.
And I'm like, because I was like, fuck Paramount.
That's a fair stand.
Paramount's trying to do like Monopoly shit right now, and I'm like, mm-mm. The reason why it got pulled, so this movie was originally designed for theaters. And if you don't know what I'm talking about, it's the Avatar: The Last Airbender. I think it's just called The Last Airbender movie.
Which we might have to change now after this movie plus Korra. Like we are no longer on. Well, I guess his movie.
No, he's the last Airbender. That's fine.
I mean, homie's in this movie, which is my one spoiler of it. Like, I'm aware there's a second Airbender. Don't know what the fuck he does. I just know this. So I'm like, wait, are we on the last Airbender? Like, anyway, keep going.
Nah, it's pretty dope. The movie's super anime, like, and knowing that everything's hand drawn in that movie also is just,
oh, that's fucking sick.
God, it's so sick. But so I went to Comic-Con last year and they announced this movie and how they were like, this movie is designed for theaters. They said it in the Comic-Con panel. Right. Like, we're making a movie. It's going to have a theatrical release. We're bringing in new actors to play older versions of the Aang,
Team Avatar.
Of Team Avatar, yeah. And then, like, the movie premiered, or not. The movie did like a early showing for press and cast, and everyone was like, "Holy crap! This movie is so cool." And then Paramount said, we're pulling the theatrical release. We're only doing it. It is only going to be available on streaming.
Oh, that's annoying.
And I went, why? And then suddenly Paramount's trying to buy Warner Brothers. And I'm like, did you pull a movie that you knew was going to be successful into your app? That, let's be real, Paramount Plus, not a very successful app. Unless you like Star Trek. Come on.
I watched The Neighborhood, but that's only because I really like
if you like
Cedric
if you like taking a 50 milligram edible and watching every SpongeBob episode, yeah, sure, get Paramount Plus. Anyway,
not a bad take. Not a bad
take.
Not a bad take. I don't disagree.
But yeah, so like Paramount Plus is, let's say, not the most popular heavy hitting app on the market.
Not 1,000%.
So you're taking something that you know is going to inflate your numbers, because like I'm going to start using Paramount Plus more when the new Avatar show comes out, which they did say Seven Havens is going to be a Paramount Plus exclusive. So I'm like, okay, yeah, I'm definitely going to use Paramount Plus to watch Seven Havens. So in order to get early inflation numbers so that investors feel good about you buying Warner Brothers, you pulled a theatrical release for an IP that hasn't put out a new show in over, let's be real, about 25 years. No, 15 years, excuse me. And the fandom is like felining, like they're frothing at the mouth for this. And you took this away from, and they were all excited for the theatrical release, and you took it away from them. I think you deserve to get hacked and and not even hacked. They weren't even fucking hacked, Justin. Somebody sent the wrong link to the wrong person. Sorry, someone sent the right link to the wrong person. And that person just happened to be in South Korea, and they went, I'm going to put this on Twitter. And it was released, it was thought to be like 15 minutes of this movie. Like the first 15 minutes of this movie leaked. And I'm like, well, I'm not going to watch the first 15 minutes of a movie. That's a very long trailer.
Much.
I'm not interested in that kind of spoiler. And I went about my day. And then last week I was scrolling Plex and the Avatar thing, or like the Avatar icon popped up, and I was like, oh, okay, like they're just like getting ready to like put the thing out because I think it's supposed to come out in October. And so someone's gonna get it and then put it on Plex.
Mm-hmm.
And then I saw the hour and a half next to the name, and I went, oh, oh.
This just the whole bitch is
I
out
was like,
here.
that can't be right. This thing doesn't come out till October. And then I realized the leak wasn't 15 minutes. The leak was 90 minutes of high quality, perfect quality, movie quality
That's insane.
movie.
That's
To which our friend then told me the story of, oh yeah, man, I have the link of it on Discord. I can send it to you. And I said, there's no need. And then I proceeded to watch it on Plex. So,
shout out to Plex, man.
so normally I'd feel bad. And then I remembered how fucking dog shit Paramount has been. Probably, let's say for the last couple years. I think that's a fair thing to say. Shout out to Colbert in his last show in a couple weeks. You know, I think it's okay. I think it's just fucking fine. And that's me not taking a political stance. That's me saying I think it's okay that the mega corporation playing Monopoly maybe loses some money. Anyway.
So to keep the consistency, my only thing that I ever say is like I just don't ever want to be hypocritical. And so it feels like, and I'm pretty much in agreement with you. I don't know as much of the Paramount stuff. Again, I have the Paramount Plus app only because there's exactly one show that I want to watch, and while it's in season, I have it for about 2 months, and then I drop the app until the next season rolls around, right? And because I may or may not have 7 or 8 emails for different shows, I may or may not get their little special for the $2.99. So but who can really keep track of all that? Is this similar to when we talked about Logan Paul last week and when him buying the Shonen Jump manga? Is this like, does the messenger play the biggest factor in here? Meaning if this was and I don't know what their contractual obligations are, what's going to go on, but like if this was just a passion project from the creators of Avatar, and they said, hey, we're going to put this out in our own way, and we're going to put, like, if they put out a website or whatever, like, they did by themselves. Like, so take out Paramount, take out Nickelodeon. They went through whatever legalities to get it, and they said, we're going to post this on our brand new website, and it's going to debut in October. Would you then feel different if this got leaked and was shown in the way that it has? Or is it because the messenger is Paramount?
I would. I think, again, yeah, if you frame it like that, yeah, it's definitely a messenger thing. Yeah, man. And we're old enough to know the history of Avatar also.
Yes.
Where
I remember losing it. I was very upset.
I don't know if you remember this. After season 2, I think we've talked about it on here actually. After season 2, the show they aired the first half of season 3, and then they didn't air the second half of season 3.
I do remember.
They were like, what if we gave it the SpongeBob treatment and released an episode every few months? You know? Let's wait for like a special promotional thing and then release an episode of Avatar. And then magically the episodes started popping up online. And I was like, okay, that's how I watched The Boiling Rock, by the way. I basically finished the Avatar show online. Avatar
Tracks.
Because I was like, oh, the show got canceled somewhere in season 3. Like, I didn't even know like season 3 had a part 2.
They got up to like the day of the day of no sun.
They did the day of Black Sun, and then they just stopped putting episodes out.
And that's a shitty time because like it was harder as a kid to know, like, you didn't have the kind of instant access we do now where like you could just Google real quick, did Avatar get canceled? Is Avatar going online? Like if the show stopped showing up on Nickelodeon or Cartoon Network, wherever you're watching on TV, you were kind of just as someone on the TV had to tell you, hey, what the fuck's going on with the show?
Yeah, your parents would have to read it in a magazine and or newspaper to find out if something got canceled. And like, again, in those days too, like, this is like for time's sake, this is 2005.
Yeah, 05, 06 sounds about right.
05, 06, something like that. And when you're releasing like cartoons for kids, you're not doing it week to week in that era. You're giving it the SpongeBob treatment. You're giving it the Fairly Odd Parents treatment. So you would get 3 episodes every 6 months or 4 months because, hey, we're doing a new episode Friday, and this is designed to get kids hooked to your, oh yeah, I'll come back regularly, and then like you start putting other things in the time slot the following month. And so yeah, I think like I don't even remember. I just remember watching the boiling. It was the boiling. I found out about the ending of Avatar: The Last Airbender literally through Wikipedia, because they were like, oh yeah, here are the episodes. The episodes exist. And I was like, where? Okay, right? And so that's Avatar: The Last Airbender. Korra gets pulled off the air because she kills the Earth Queen. Or not she, but like they suffocate someone on screen, and it's still considered a kids show, right? And so they're like, so you're telling me the show about terrorism, or the show that had terrorism elements, and the show that had
started with genocide,
killed someone on screen. We cannot air it. And so they did the last, like, I think they did the last couple episodes where someone proceeds to get their head blown off. And then they were like, okay, it's done. And then they put season 4 online. And so I'm looking at Avatar's history, and I go, so you're telling me somebody told the creators of Avatar one thing, and then at the last second changed their minds about that thing, and then it magically appeared online. If I know anything about Avatar history, and I know quite a bit about Avatar history,
it's not a bad point. That's not a bad point at all.
You see what I'm saying, man? I'm like, Ha. So who keeps putting these things online?
That's yeah.
So, and you'd never prove it.
Oh, yeah.
You'd never prove it. You'd never prove it. But I also think there's a reason why the fans really stick to this IP. There's a reason why I say Avatar is the modern Star Wars.
Mm-hmm.
More so than I think Star Wars is now. But like what Star Wars was for, I want to say, we'll just say Gen X. Sure, whatever, right? What Star Wars was in the 70s, 80s, 90s, Avatar is for millennials and Gen Z. So I'm like, and we know how to use the internet. We were kind of molded by the internet.
Yeah, it's a fact. I
guess maybe not Gen X. I forget that technically early millennials got Star Wars, right? Does that start in the 80s? Because we're closer to Gen Z than we are millennials. If you remember the Twin Towers, you're a millennial.
Well, it's all so. This is one of my favorite conversations to have. It's one of my favorite side conversations to have, and I can't explain why.
1981 to 96 is technically the era of millennial. So what Star Wars was for in the 70s and 80s, right?
Yeah, that's fair.
70s, 80s, 90s.
So it's again my quick 30-second TED talk on this, and I don't remember what inspired me to do this. But for anybody listening, all generations are literally bullshit. The identifying fact, besides exactly baby boomers, because millennials are identified as growing up with the rise of the internet. And if you have any idea how the internet works, the rise of the internet is not some linear thing of like, oh yeah, you just grew up with AOL and then dial-up and then now you've got Google. Like, no. The rise of the internet is one of the most vague things ever. Baby boomers only are a factual thing because we went to war and our population went 1.5 and they're like, fuck, there's a lot of kids because we thought everybody was going to die. So everybody got pregnant. And besides that, like millennial, Gen Z, Gen Alpha, I think is the current one. It's like, it's all a bunch of crap. And
Gen Alpha's brain, like Gen Z is fine, I think, in my opinion. I think millennials got blamed for everything. Gen Z are going to be the most annoying fucking Republicans when we're older. And then
fuckers can't
Gen Alpha is so brain rotted out of their brain. They don't know how to talk.
They can't talk. I don't think Gen Z can read. So I'm like, I don't know if Gen Z is going to. I mean, maybe that is the key to being like.
I think Gen Z has the same media literacy as boomers, and that's my hot take. That's why I call them a zoomer. Also, they know how to. They have a label for everything because they only read the headline. So every single one of them has a disease.
Fair.
Versus like your boomer parents think that everyone else is the problem.
I knew a guy like that.
So I think if you want to, I don't mind being ageist, man. I really fucking don't. It's the only ist I'll actually like admit to.
That's fair.
That and being racist. I genuinely hate everybody. So
that's there you go. Double down.
Nobody hates a white more than me. And if you've got a little, no, I'm just kidding.
If you look
a little different too,
Matt recently applied at JP Morgan.
Cut that.
that recent internship with JP Morgan talking about, hey, look, I know JP came out and said, look, man, the whole story's fake. It was fabricated. We got years of evidence on this one. I'm like, JP Morgan is the same company that literally the biggest crack heist of all time they found on their boat. And they went, don't worry, we could pay it off. And it just went away. So I am not shocked of anything that comes out of that company. Now, do I also think, and I don't have a horse in the race. I don't really give a fuck. The story was just funny to me. Do I also believe there's a really funny story in which a guy cheated on his girlfriend or his wife and then said,
didn't hear about this fucking story, Justin?
Oh my God. This shit is 10 out of 10.
This came out yesterday? Holy shit.
Do I believe a manager
for those of you that are also just as confused, this is the headline that I'm looking at. A JP Morgan executive was accused of turning a coworker into her sex slave.
Yes.
Abused brown
Careful about the next word.
Brown Indian boy. Wait, hold on. What is this? JP Morgan executive abused brown boy Indian, threatened his career, report. You see, I'm reading this and I'm like, this is a boomer headline. If I've ever seen it. It makes no fucking sense.
So hear me out for a second. This is why I say I have no dog in the fight, but it's funny either way. Do I believe, because this is the way people interpret this story. They hear woman who is a big member at JP Morgan. And so immediately everybody's like, she is probably making like well into the six figures. Like JP Morgan's a really big company.
Yeah.
She's making a shit ton of money. And because it's a girl in the position of power and it's a guy supposed to be in the sex slave, it's like, I see a lot of, well, fuck, if that's all I had to do when I was promised promotion, nigga, I'd be there on the weekends. And I'd get extra shifts. And I'm like, I know how this story would immediately come off if it was like a guy in power versus girl.
Because we've seen that story a million times.
Yes.
I'm sorry this guy liked having a fucking ball gag in his mouth in the fucking bathroom. Sorry, he didn't like it because the story came out. He probably didn't get his promotion, and that's why the story broke.
Well, here's the other thing, because you have to read the line that everybody's catching everybody's attention is her saying something I can't say on the camera, but in making a racial insult towards his wife, and then saying, I bet she doesn't have, I bet she doesn't have these cannons, and then proceeded to take off her shirt. Now, again, do I believe people in power take advantage? 1,000%. Do I also believe there's a really good chance dude was just cheating on his wife, and the only way he could get out of it when he got confronted by her was saying, babe, you just don't understand. My boss has been pressuring me. She said I'd get a promotion. She just, in the story says, she just took my pants off and started sucking my dick. I just don't know how it happened.
Literally, dude, I hate that there's a world where there are two realities, right? One is this dude was absolutely taken advantage of. The other is his wife found his phone. You know what I mean? I hate that we live in a world here. I don't like Megyn Kelly, but this is a nice little tweet from her. Do you find it plausible that he protested and started to cry as she was saying...
That's the part we can't say. I'm going to bleep that out, but I get you. That's the part we can't say,
no,
but I get you.
I'm quoting Megyn Kelly. Yeah. You know, and she's never been problematic.
Never. But that's what I was saying. I'm like, I saw that, and my brain was like, oh, damn. And then I saw some of the reaction.
That's insane, dude.
This story is 100% like you see how everybody interprets news. And it's again, it is either, oh my gosh, this nigga's got caught cheating and he's lying his ass off. Oh my gosh, person in power took advantage.
Yeah.
Damn, I wish someone took advantage of me like that, making that much money. I'm like, the way everybody reacted to the story, and I'm like, and this ain't the podcast for it, it's just a quick side note. This story, if you want to take it to its fullest extent, is exactly why news is so hard to get across in 2026, because it does not matter what's true. It does not matter what the facts are. All that matters is how you interpret it, and you will run with it however you want to interpret it. And you will, like, again, I have no, and JP Morgan can't even come out and say, as a company that I know got away with the biggest crack heist in American history, you can't come out and say, we did everything, she's squeaky clean, because you're not squeaky clean.
Well, my other thing also is, like, whose side do you take, right? So, like, JP Morgan wants to be seen as a company that has a woman...
in a high position of power.
In a high position of power. They also want to be like, people of color can work here.
Mm-hmm. Pick fucker.
Yeah, I'm like, and they also have the side of sexual assault is bad. But they also have the side of this cheating is also bad. So we don't...
It's so... Well, again, it has...
I don't want to be everything. That guy, and you can bleep this. I'm gonna look up this executive.
And that's the other thing. No, you look up the executive, and you look up him, and that starts the other portion of the story, which is like, no, she wasn't into him, because she's not a bad looking lady. He ain't the world's greatest looking guy. And again, you know she's making a fuck ton of money.
Oh, she's gonna be fine. Oh, man, I hate that. Like, I typed in her name, and bikini was the first thing that popped up. God bless, I love the internet. We all think of the same thing.
The amount of... No, it is such a litmus test on America. Like,
no, I'm sorry. The first thing that pops up is her Instagram. People wanted to know.
You gotta fucking love it.
Oh, man. You know what? Yeah, because if you go on LinkedIn, you're not going to see anything to qualify a statement on LinkedIn.
It's a great,
God
it just
bless.
shows you where America's at, bro. It's one of those.
Anyway, Avatar's out there in the zeitgeist. Yeah, I'm really going to stick it to everybody. I'm going to stick it to Paramount even more. I think I'm going to rent out a movie theater and run the movie.
Amen. You had also said something about that's why the fan base sticks with it so hard, and that was kind of my other thing I wanted to discuss today. Is the fan bases are that just won't let something go away, and I don't want, and I'm not I don't want to seem critical because I'm a big believer in you like what you like, and if you're not hurting nobody, mainly because I know I'm big into this, where I'm like, I have like 7 or 8 shows or animes that I really love, and I do watch them to some degree pretty much every single year. Like, I'll go back and watch moments, or I'll go back and watch certain episodes. Like, My Hero, I know will become this for me. Like, obviously I've been watching it as seasons comes out, but I know there'll be a time in my life where, like, in another year or two, I'm just like, yeah, I want to go watch a couple episodes of My Hero. I want to go rewatch the final fight. I want to go rewatch something from the, maybe like the OG Stain episodes. I am aware I'm that kind of person. And so that brought up, I was like, do certain animes actually ever die? And the one that kind of blows my mind, and I get it, I love the story too, even though the anime kind of went to hell at certain points. Not quite as bad as One Piece, but still went to hell. Naruto is still one of the 5 highest watched animes, and on Netflix, it's number 2. It's only behind One Piece, which I might think the One Piece anime is ass. I fully understand why One Piece, the IP, why it still gets the kind of traction it does, and so I get it. Like, I'm not confused as to why One Piece is number 1, even if I don't think the show's good. Naruto the manga ended in 2013, 14?
I think it's like, I think it might be, let's see, Naruto manga.
I think it ended like right after high school for us.
2014.
2014, okay. The show ended when we were living together, so go 21, so 10 years ago.
The anime concluded in 2017.
Man, how long is the post fucking... How many episodes did they throw in there between like the actual ending and then like all the marriage bullshit and side shit they did?
Not as much as you think. The gap is more in the how they did the war and the lead up to the war. Like, there was quite a bit of filler spread out sporadically.
And I guess I've got to be fair here, is because like when you think of again, One Piece is still going, so I give them the exception. Like, they're still technically getting new content, but it's like Naruto's in the top 5, Dragon Ball is in the top 5, and Dragon Ball, by the way, that's not even including like last year when Daima was running, which was different because Toriyama had just passed. Daima was like his last thing he had worked on. I totally get why Daima did numbers. I didn't personally care for Daima, but I understand that more so than like regular Dragon Ball and Dragon Ball Z still putting up like top 5 viewership numbers. How is it that like some of these, like Bleach doesn't stream well or put up huge viewing numbers outside of when it gets new seasons? Like, why are Dragon Ball and Naruto specifically still putting up like top 5 numbers? Is that a reflection on new anime? Is that a reflection on the fan base? Like, how are these shows still putting up like such insane numbers?
It's probably mostly nostalgia. I was thinking about this actually earlier this week, and there's a I don't know if there's a thing with like storytelling now where it just, I don't think it hits like it did. I also think Naruto's in an interesting place too because there were so many episodes. You get a place of, oh, like it was routine to watch it. Every week there's a new Naruto episode, right? Oh, every week there's a new One Piece episode. Oh, every week there's a new Bleach episode. Like, you kind of get into this routine, and I mean, that just, it created a habit, right? And I found like the older I get, the more I want to go back to like simpler times. And if I need something to just have on in the background, it's going to be the show that I know isn't going to end. Like, it'll take a week of it running straight to get halfway done. You know what I mean?
That's fair.
So, I think you also get the people showing it to their kids. I think that's a big one. You get people that want to revisit those old fights, because those old fights are really cool.
I watch Naruto Neji is like a 2 or 3 times a year. I'll go back and watch it. Like, it's a great 40 minutes.
Yeah,
Lee vs. Gaara is the obvious one. Like, that's the fight from early Naruto. But like, I really love Naruto Neji.
I'd be interested in seeing where the numbers are the highest for those episodes. Like, you can have a show be one of like your most viewed seasonal shows, right? But where, like, are they watching it straight through? Like,
or are they just watching
Netflix put out
episodes?
a thing that was like, Netflix put out a thing when they had The Office of people. They had quite a bit of viewers that would watch it from point A to point, like from the start to the finish, and then they would restart the show and then go through it, and then they would restart the show and go through it. They had like, then they put out the statistics on that. I wonder if people started the tuning exams for Naruto.
That's a good start.
Right? You know what I mean?
That's a
Like,
good fucking start.
Like, if I'm gonna like watch maybe I don't watch Naruto front to back, but I go, man, I just want to rewatch the tuning exam. So you put the tuning exams on, and then now you're watching all of that, and then you're
That's
like,
fair.
well, I might as well watch the Sasuke retrieval arc. So then now you go to the Sasuke retrieval arc, and suddenly you've put in like a ton of hours into this show, but you haven't watched it from front to back.
That's fair.
Like, so I think you get the people that are like, oh, I'm just gonna have it as my second monitor while I work. I think you have the people that are showing it to their kids because it was a big part of their childhood. And so I know this is what a friend of mine was doing with One Piece, and actually he was doing it with Naruto too, but he was just watching it with his kids.
I watched it with my wife. Like,
yeah, right. Like, you know, it's a big part of like who we were growing up. So you show it, and you know, maybe it sticks, maybe it doesn't stick. But like realistically, a baby is a captive audience. So you're like, okay, well, I got to watch the kids, right? And I think that's probably why Dragon Ball Z has stayed in the zeitgeist for as long, because if I need to like watch the kid, I'm just gonna like put it on. Right? Maybe we're putting the kid to sleep, and so like we're just sitting in like a dark living room, like the kid is going to sleep, and then I'm gonna watch this show. And
no, that's definitely super fair. I guess
like, it's definitely boy comfort TV. I will say that. We were talking about like reality TV shows and stuff before the pod. It's definitely our comfort show.
Subscribe to the Patreon if you want our reality TV opinions. I guess because in Avatar is why Avatar I think is such an interesting is Avatar every couple of years, and this is before the movie, like Netflix would put it on, then take it off. And every single time they put it on, there was this huge spike. And those, again, I totally understand. But it's kind of because it's like a limited time to go relive this. But what I feel like is different, and I'm not even trying, and again, I love both stories at their core. Both shows have a ton of flaws, but I love both stories at their core. When you go watch Avatar, and I feel like with the consensus opinion, every time you go back to Airbender, and even, I think you and I have discussed, like, I think we can make an argument Korra is better, but it's really hard to take away what Team Avatar did.
I think Korra is different. I was explaining this to a friend of ours when because he sat down and watched. We have a friend that's never watched Avatar front to back, but so much time has passed and he knows everything about it at this point. He just hasn't sat and experienced it, and so he watched the movie with us, and I was like, and after the movie we were kind of talking about it, and I was like, the thing that I think makes this IP so wonderful is no Avatar deals with the same issue. The world changes drastically between one era and another era. And I was like, the world in Aang's era doesn't need a Korra. They need an Aang.
Mm-hmm. And Korra would be hilarious in the Last Airbender world.
Aang can't exist in Korra's world because and the movie actually does a really good job of highlighting that transition, which is kind of interesting. So I think that's what makes the IP so special. No, like the issues that Korra deal with are not the issues that Aang deal with. And because of that, they're almost two different stories. Like we finished the movie and our friend's fiance, right, mm-hmm. goes, "Oh, now you can watch Avatar: The Last Airbender," and I was like, "You could jump into Korra. You don't need to know. What?
Aang is just, they do a good job of Aang is just a legacy character. Like they do a good job with all Team Avatar. Like they're Korra. Just legacy characters.
That's why I'm excited to, like, because I was also like, bending isn't like there isn't one way to bend. Like in Naruto, up until like he gets creative with Rasengan, there isn't one way. There's one way to do jutsus, right? This kind of goes out the window as we keep going on with this series, but like in the beginning it was like, oh, you have to do this hand sign, you have to manipulate your chakra a specific way, and then you can do this. Oh, you saw someone do this? Well, okay, I tweaked my hand signs a little. That's why, like, if you're able to invent a jutsu, you're kind of a genius. Because, oh, you did something that nobody's thought of before. In Avatar, bending is an extension of yourself. So if it's a fighting style, maybe I'm a wrestler, right? Or maybe I'm a boxer. My fighting style is very different than someone that does martial arts. Thus, my bending is different. And I'm like, because of that creativity built into it, you get benders in every era doing something a little different because it's an extension of how their brain works. I forget how we got back to Avatar, but well,
so because
we were talking about longevity of a show.
No, and because Avatar has the same thing. Like whenever Avatar comes back, people talk about it. I almost feel like it's different than people talk about Dragon Ball and Naruto, whereas like and again, they all have huge fan bases. That's not so much my point. But every time Avatar is back, it's like, wow, this is one of like the best shows we've ever gotten. Like Avatar: The Last Airbender still holds up in 2026. Like if it was brand new, came out today, it would still be a really quality fucking story. Versus like Dragon Ball gets memed on and it's like, oh yeah, I'm gonna go watch people scream for 3 hours. And Naruto gets memed on because you got ninja ostriches. It's like, but that always, it's so weird to me because I'm like, because you brought up Star Wars too, and I was like, I don't know the current state of Star Wars fandom, but I know every time there's a Star Wars movie, because of who I was friends with, like, even though I didn't watch it, I was always aware of when a movie dropped, because you guys were like, fuck yeah, new Star Wars is coming out, we're gonna go watch it, and it's expanding the world. Like,
do you know? I'll tell you what the state of Star Wars is right now.
Go for it.
Did you know there's a movie coming out in like 3 weeks for Star Wars?
I did not.
That's the state of Star Wars right now. You see what I'm saying? Like that it's just, there's no excitement around it like there used to be.
Okay.
Like, this is the first Star Wars movie since the dog shit episode 9 one. It's like it's really, really sad what's happened to Star Wars. And this one doesn't take place in the same fucking gap that they can't seem to get out of. Like, the thing with Star Wars is there's a lot of like fun stories that they can tell between the trilogies, the first 2 trilogies, right? To try to bridge that gap. But that gap's been bridged. There was already like a show that really like kind of highlighted that gap. And then they went, okay, well, let's do another show in that gap. Let's do a movie in that gap. Let's do another show in that gap. Let's make comics that are happening in that gap. Let's only tell stories between this gap. Also, we released a sequel trilogy that is dog shit. And there's a bigger gap between Star Wars Episode 6 and Episode 7. But we can't explore that. We have one show highlighting that gap.
So
we had one show highlight the gap, and then a failed animated show tried to coincide with the sequels. So, and like, there's just been so much Star Wars content that it has become very like and like the things that we
just got a good one.
Yeah, the things that we want from Star Wars, like the fans really want before.
Mm-hmm.
And so Disney was like, oh, they want this Old Republic. Well, let's do the gap between the Old Republic and... So the Old Republic, let's just say that's like... Let's say that's World 1 in One Piece, right? And where we're at in the movies, we'll call that World 3. And the fans were like, man, we really want World 1. And they went, and Disney was like, you're right. Let's do World 2. And then give it no support. And we'll release a lot of them in books. We'll release one show that should have had a more coherent pre-production.
Valid.
And when that show fails, we'll realize that fans don't actually want like this type of Star Wars. So we'll go back to doing what we know best. Yeah, so that's the state of Star Wars at this point. Again, super bummer. But what are you going to do?
Do you think that Star Wars, in comparison to these other IPs, because these are all obviously long-lasting, like Dragon Ball's 40 years old, Naruto's almost 30? 90... Yeah, Naruto's got to be almost 30.
Naruto's almost 30. Let's see, Naruto manga release.
It's got to be 99 or 2000.
Yeah, it's coming up on 30.
So these are all extensively older. Does it actually help, like, that Naruto and Dragon Ball and the Dragon Ball fans will kill me for this. Yes, I'm aware Dragon Ball gets new content. I promise you guys, if you look at the numbers, I don't even have to have the inside track. It is the old stuff that is doing the really high streaming numbers. Yes, especially because we haven't gotten a new season in, again, since Matt and I lived together, we have not gotten a new season of Dragon Ball Super. So trust me when I say I'm aware there's new content, but Dragon Ball popped because of the anime, not the manga. Just being clear here before they kill me for this statement. Do you think it actually helps, like Dragon Ball and Naruto, that it stays in nostalgia and they don't have new content? Again, to the Naruto fans, I'm aware Boruto exists, but there's such a clear divide between.
Not there, you know what I mean? Boruto's also not around right now.
Well, no, I'm saying I think there's a clear divide between, like, I think there was like people who are just Naruto fans, and then I think Boruto fans have, and to their credit, you can like what you like, they've kind of like. They make their own niche of like they are Boruto fans, and there was a bunch of Naruto fans who were like, once the original story ended, because I'm one of them. Like once the original story ended, I acknowledge Naruto had a son named Boruto, and that is where I end my relationship with him. I do not acknowledge anything that happened afterwards. I'm like, I'm proud. Like my man got a family. I'm happy for him. He got a daughter. He got a son. And that's it. Like my adventure with Naruto ends on like that panel of him standing in front of everybody. I'm the Hokage, and I'm like, dope. And that's all I need, because I didn't fall in love with Boruto. I fell in love with Naruto's story. But so do you think it helps that these two shows, like you say, Star Wars, it almost hurts them that they're getting new content, and the new content isn't what it used to be? Like if Naruto and Dragon Ball were getting new content and it was ass, like that would hurt the nostalgia value. Do you think that's fair to say?
I think that's not. I don't think that's the case. I think like your Boruto people are. Sorry, I got Reese's fucking being annoying.
No, you good? My dog's lying outside my door.
Menace. Boruto isn't good content. I think.
I agree.
I think the people that like Boruto, are. Either
would you say can't read? Zoomers can't read, or Alpha can't read?
Alpha can't do a lot. The media literacy isn't quite there.
That's your Boruto fan base.
Zoomers just can't read, yeah. But yeah, I'm like, I think there's a nostalgia. There's a lot of copium that I think happens with Boruto. It has to be good because it's Naruto, you know what I mean? And it's like, it's just so badass. And now it's kind of dipped into the aura farming category to try to, like, again, Gen Alpha can't read. They got no media literacy, but they know something looks cool. And they don't know how to talk to make their point. So,
that may be why they love old Dragon Ball episodes.
But like maybe, you know what I mean? Like the media literacy isn't there, right? And if I'm gonna be fucking ageist about it, where they just love their brain rot, it's a great show to have on while you scroll on your phone. Because if I remember right, those old anime, there was a lot of like, remember when I said that Blue Lock season 2 wasn't as bad if you treated it as a cardio anime? And it's because you lose out on the still frames when you're not looking at the phone every 2 seconds to watch it.
When you're not like hyper focused on it.
If you're not hyper focused on it, PNG lock doesn't matter. Because you're like, oh yeah, they're playing soccer. And then like, I am focused on it because I'm watching it, but I'm also like running or biking while I'm also doing something else, an activity along with it. And so I don't notice PNG lock. And I think that might be another reason. Those shows are really good to scroll your phone to, because, and One Piece is in the same boat, right? You're sitting there and it's a still frame that they're slowly zooming in on, and with a bunch of sound effects and stuff. And if I'm like scrolling on my phone, and I look up periodically, I think they're animating. I think it's getting animated. You know what I mean? Like, Zoro's saying something. I look up. Yep, Zoro's saying something. Bang, 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 and you're like, oh, whoa, yeah, Big Mom's doing things. All right, cool. If I'm watching a show like this,
it's
like
yeah.
suddenly that bad pacing doesn't really fucking exist.
This is true. Do you
and then suddenly the animation gets good because in One Piece there's only about 2 minutes of good animation per episode, right? And so the good animation starts, and then suddenly you're watching the screen, and you're like, "Holy shit, this is peak!" And then you go back to your phone, and then you come out of it, and you're like, "Wow, dude, that was one of the coolest episodes I've ever watched." And you only watched half of it. Because you didn't watch any of the intro, because that's 5 minutes. Sorry, it's a 2.5 intro with a 3-minute recap. So you're really only getting what was the logic we said? You're only getting like 12 to 15 minutes of content
somewhere around
episode.
there,
yeah. And then there's not like a ton of animation in it. And so you're like, wow, that was the most peak episode. And you watched half of it.
I think
I don't get why people hate on the anime. The anime's so good. Guy who scrolls on his fucking phone watching AMVs while he and oh my god, did you know Charlie Kirk also got popped? Crazy. Oh my god. This is the coolest episode of Holy shit. And Naruto's dead? And Charlie Kirk is squirting blood. Anyway. But like
I think like something that I learned,
like a fucking bathtub. He's acting like a bathtub drain right now.
Oh Jesus!
Cut that.
I think I learned that because you and I have talked about this for years, like not just on here, but just in person. Like we started, like we would see clips, right? And so whether you're on Twitter, Instagram, Reddit, or YouTube, like we would see these because there was moments we wanted to see animated because we know, like, oh yeah, this will look cool as fuck when it's animated. And it's like these 2 to 3 minute videos, and it's like Gear 5. I think I did watch the whole Gear 5 episode just because, again, that was kind of a moment. And it's the whole episode pretty much was just the transformation and all that wacky sequencing. So that's probably my last full episode of One Piece watched. But otherwise, it's like these 2 to 3 minute clips. And you and I had the perspective of, yeah, the show's not good, but this individual thing can be cool. And the way you just explained it now, I'm like, I wonder if that's just how everybody watches it, but they don't rationalize it the same way. They think that having those 2 to 3 minutes makes the episode incredible. Like, because I got to see this, pick whatever, there's One Piece is doing once, pick whatever your moment is, and it's like, oh my gosh, that was just so amazing, and that makes the whole episode amazing. It's like, nah, dog, if like you went to a concert, like I would never go to a concert for a guy that I only liked one song from, because I might love that one song, might love it to death. And it's like, I got 3 minutes of this one song that's incredible, and then they blast me with 40 minutes of, I don't know what the fuck's going on here. Like, I don't care for this. The other thing, I guess, too, and because we were talking about Michael Jackson biopic is out. It is a movie I'm going to go see.
Yeah, I'll go see it with you. Just let me know when you're thinking. Because Alex doesn't give a shit about it.
Potentially tomorrow, but I'm trying to feed because I also might be spiking it or taking it, so I'm not 100% sure if I'm going to the theaters or not, but I'll keep you in the loop. But it's a Michael Jackson movie, and so it's setting all these records because Michael Jackson is one of the most fucking famous people to ever walk the planet in a way that is like A, extremely unhealthy, and B, just like as famous as you think somebody is now, I guarantee you Michael Jackson is more famous. But I'm also curious in like an anime translation of that is like, because I asked Tony and Will, I'm like, when do you think Michael Jackson will stop being Michael Jackson? And by that I mean, like, I love Mike. I love multiple albums of Michael Jackson, like a ton of his songs, like the artist as a whole, like he's incredible. I'm also born in 94. There are people that spoke of Michael Jackson as the greatest thing to ever exist because they watched him during his prime. I wasn't alive, but I was I was raised by these people, right? And so you take all these households that are raised by people who are like, man, you just don't get it. Michael Jackson is the greatest fucking thing ever. I saw him moonwalk for the first time. I was there when Billie Jean dropped. I was there for Pretty Young Thing, like different experience. And so they tell their kids. And you can impress a lot upon your children, especially when it comes to music. And so then your kids go, oh my gosh, Michael Jackson's amazing. Go back and listen to it. But, and this is my viewpoint, they won't ever quite understand it the same way. Again, I didn't see him live. The moonwalk was already out, done. He was doing it by the time I was even fucking born. So that you trickle down at some point, when does he stop becoming him? Because eventually you'll just have an entire planet of people who never saw him live, who didn't experience the immediate afterwards. And so some of that will eventually fade. Now, I understand some people truly do live forever for good or for bad reasons, but it's like, when will he leave this? Like, Michael Jackson is still the highest grossing musician in 2026. Like, that's just how popular his catalog is. So when you have Naruto and you have Dragon Ball, it's like, how long do they stay in that space? Because we got to see it in real time. You will a kid born now, or like a 10-year-old, for example, ever saw Madara in real time debut. That is not an experience they can ever have. They'll never get to see the first time the nine-tailed fox goes fucking nuts against Haku. They'll never get to see Lee vs. Gar in real time. Like, so we tell the next generation, the kids, man, this is fucking amazing. This is the best shit ever. They love it, but they're not going to love it the same way we did. Or at least as intently, because they didn't live through it. They're going to have their own moments. They're going to have their JJKs, their solo levelings, etc. How long do Naruto and Dragon Ball stay in these spaces? And I'm aware, and Dragon Ball, for example, is like, has been in this space now going on, it's going to be damn near 50 years. And it still hasn't left the worldwide psyche. And there's niggas who are alive. I saw a tweet, and then I'll pass it off to you. It was like, what's something that's a spoiler that's now just common stance? And like, Goku being a Saiyan is something that is just like the first thing people go to, and it's literally a big reveal 300 chapters into the series. Like, it was this game-breaking thing in real time. Now it's just like common. Like, you just expect on episode 1 of Dragon Ball, you're like, yeah, no, homie's an alien. So it's like, how long do Dragon Ball and Naruto stay in this space? One Piece I'm not counting, because One Piece is actively putting out new content, so it's a different ballpark.
One Piece is actively putting it out. I mean, as long as we're alive, you know, because that content was aimed at us growing up, right? Mm-hmm. And so we're always going to be showing it or having it on. How long do I think Naruto and Dragon Ball will last? There's a holiday in Japan for Dragon Ball, so quite a while for that one.
Like, do you think your grandkids, like, if you imagine 90-year-old Matt trying to show like his grandkids,
I think they'll know it. I think there's going to be a point, and I would say Michael Jackson will fall on this too, where the music's timeless. There are certain aspects of, like, if your kid's into anime, or your grandkids into anime, they're going to discover or be shown Naruto, Dragon Ball, One Piece. At, like, it's going to be on in the house at some point. However, as someone who likes music other than Michael Jackson, I'm not only going to listen to Michael Jackson.
Yeah,
you know
absolutely.
What I mean? In fact, I might not even seek out Michael Jackson, because I'm like, yeah, you know, like Billie Jean, Thriller, so many other, like, you know what I mean? Like, I'm not the biggest Michael Jackson fan. I know Michael Jackson music.
Yeah, that's valid.
I'm not because like Prince fan. Seek out like, I like his music's great. I just don't seek it out in my spare time because there's a bunch of other things I want to listen to. And
No,
I
it's
think
fair.
that's where Naruto, Dragon Ball will fall into. People that are into anime are going to know it. They're like, oh, dude, yeah, Naruto's sick. But they're not like, that's not the thing they're growing up with,
Mm-hmm.
right? This will piss off people. There are people out there that go, the Naruto anime is, I've seen it, it's mid, I do not like it. Solo Leveling
Peak.
is some of the best anime I've ever seen. And that person does fucking exist. You know? Um media literacy isn't what it was, but also like you didn't grow up with Naruto, right? And
No,
so if
1,000%.
I'm introduced to an anime that has really, really good pacing, and then someone goes, "Oh man, you don't know what it's like. Check out this old thing." And you show someone Naruto, and I'm stuck on and I don't have my phone, and I'm stuck on we're just staring at we're staring at a still frame with people talking a little longer than the illusion should allow. I'm gonna be like, what the fuck is happening? What is this? I'll tell you right now, it was really hard to get through the Zabuza arc. The Zabuza arc is a really hard watch. And it's not for the storytelling, but the animation is
Well, it's
just,
probably ass.
it's
I haven't seen it in a
not
minute,
good.
but it's probably ass. That's
Like
valid.
that's what I'm saying too. I'm like, I think the reason the tuning exam works is because, I mean, it's a fighting arc, right? Like things are happening all the time. The Zabuza arc, fighting happens, but when they get to the bridge and they start slowing things down and there's a lot of talking, like I used to think the Zabuza arc was the first 13 episodes of Naruto. It's not. It's like the
That's like
first
20.
20 something.
Yeah.
And I'm like, oh man, this would be a really tight 13.
Oh, yeah.
Like
It'd be
I thought
insane.
Naruto beat the shit out of Haku in episode 13. And I did that. I thought that for the majority of my life. Up until I tried rewatching it as a cardio and I went, "Oh no. I'm sorry. I see how One Piece got to where it is by watching this old Naruto episode because we needed to fill fucking time." So, yeah, I think the pacing is going to be different for kids when we're at when we're in our 90s.
I hope so.
My dad always
I hope y'all get better.
My dad always I grew up with a dad who loves movies, and his thing was always like, if he couldn't stand reality television, and we would have me and my mom would watch Amazing Race, and dad would come in and see it, and he'd be like, ugh, Jesus Christ, they can't hold a shot longer than 5 seconds. And it's something that you don't think about. If you watch an older movie, they hold those shots for a long time. If you watch new stuff, it's quick, right? And so it used to drive me and my mom up the fucking wall because we'd be in the middle of a episode and dad would come in and sit and watch and he'd be like, yeah, they can't hold it for longer than 5 seconds, and he'd fucking count. He'd go 1, 2, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, and he would do that the whole fucking time. And I'm like a kid, but this is built into my brain now. I can't unsee it. So I look at that and now I'm like, it's why I go, oh, like we're holding the shot a little longer than it needs to be held. This is an action shot. So why are we holding this shot in an anime for 7 seconds? You know what I mean? Like I see it, and that's so if you ever hear me bitch about pacing, that's one of the reasons why I think the One Piece anime is kind of bad. But yeah, I'm like, So like I said, like pacing's going to be different for kids when we're in our 90s. Um, but maybe that's a good thing. Maybe that's a bad thing. Yeah, we'll see.
It's obviously, again, like you said, and I'm using Michael Jackson because he's obviously at like the top end of, it's like it's him, it's Prince, it's obviously like Beyonce falls into this class, Adele, like these just, even if you don't personally listen to him, like I don't listen to Adele, I am very well aware of how popular Adele is. But it makes it interesting too, because like that same kind of logic is, again, Michael's close enough to our age group, or at least when like his music was out, versus like if you go to a James Brown or like Motown artist, and it's like guys in the 50s and 60s who were probably talked about in the same kind of reverence for their time, the way like Michael Jackson and Prince were, but we've just, people that watch James Brown live, well, most of them are fucking dead. And not to be disrespectful to the dead, but like, you don't get to talk anymore. You don't get to put your opinion out there. And so that means these people that were legends, icons, and they will obviously, again, they will always exist. They're always a part of the site. You can't tell the story of music without them, the same way you'll never be able to tell the story of anime or manga without these shows. Like, they are, that voice though was going to get less and less, to the point of like, again, these are the biggest IPs in the world. Like, I'm a big fan of 90s. I can't find anybody outside of Jake who like will talk about Gundam. And really, it's like 2 Gundam series.
Yeah.
The most of the Gundam series are like, they were cool, they had their moment in the sun, and now they're just, if you scroll through like fucking page 15 of Crunchyroll, it's like, oh, I found this one. Like, I sent y'all the picture of the first Gundam I watched, and it was like the red one, and he had the fucking whip that just tore other giant robots in half. And I'm like, I thought that was cool as fuck as a 9-year-old. And like, again, I love Kenshin. I think Kenshin's on the periphery where it's like, you just like, people like me know it. And I think it's got almost zero impact on the space now. And I think in 50 years, it's going to be even less, if not totally non-existent. A show like Gurren Lagann, which I think is, has a little niche community now, I think in 50 years is going to be almost non-existent. You'll always have people, because just how hobbies work, who will deep dive everything. And that is neat. But I'm just curious, like, could you ever, I guess we'll close out here because we've only got a few minutes left. Could you ever imagine a world where the big IPs of our childhood have become like the niche? Like, Bleach is a niche, very few people talking about it. Naruto becomes a niche, very few people talking about it. The Dragon Ball, One Piece, I don't know if they ever will, just because
I don't know if Dragon Ball, One Piece, or Naruto will. I think at the current time, those 3 make a shit ton of money.
Yes, that helps.
And it's one of the reasons why I think Boruto's manga gets all of the leeway in the world. I genuinely don't think like the sales are as good as other things that have been canceled of a similar quality. Yeah,
Attached to a golden
but
child.
I do think that the Naruto name makes just racks of cash. I think if anything, like it and Pokemon are very in a similar
That's
realm,
valid.
right? I think Pokemon goes into that 3 slot as just an IP that's at this point in time is too big to fail. That could change. I don't know how it'll change.
Yeah, I
But
can never
I
see
think
Pokemon
it just turns
being
into an
niche.
active thing of like the only way I can see it kind of like for to go back to Dragon Ball, One Piece, Naruto, is if it turns into something where you're like, oh, check out this thing's so cool, and there's just a huge cultural pushback from what your parents like, to where you're like, oh man, dude, Naruto is so I cannot stand it because your parent liked it. Like, for example, my mom loves the Beatles. It was all we listened to growing up. At a certain point, I discovered other music, right? And I went, I like this more than the Beatles. But mom goes, we have to listen to the Beatles. And I go, do we have to listen to the Beatles? Why? And now, guess who doesn't really listen to the Beatles? Do I hate Beatles music? No, not really. But I'm also
don't care for it.
I don't care for it. Like, it's cool. It's more annoying when someone's like, oh, you used to be so good. You could tell which one of them was singing when they would do their thing. And I'm like, I'm not. You know, I don't know, man. Like, cool. But yeah, so I'm like, that. I'm like, I kind of like Oasis a little better, but okay, sure. I like the other British 5-banger band to come out, you know.
Hot take. I don't care for the Beatles at all, so I'm with you.
It's not really like I don't hate them. I'm like, okay, the Beatles.
They existed. They did their thing.
The Beatles are good. The music's fine. Like it's just not my thing. And I think that'll be what I think sees an IP downturn. And I think it just turns into, like, if you love Dragon Ball, right? We love One Piece. Justin, you love One Piece. You're walking around a house in the Admiral jacket, like, king of the fucking house. Your kids are seeing this, and then they hit that awkward fucking age where they're like, I hate you, Dad.
Yeah.
And
I am the downfall of One Piece.
But like, it's not. I don't think. I'm not gonna frame it like that, but I
get what you're saying.
Yeah, where you're just kind of like, really?
You don't want to listen to the things like kids naturally, teenagers especially naturally
they find their own thing, right? Like it's really important that kids find their own thing. I will say, in my household, nobody is. I do not support brain rot theater in this house. I will make fun of you for it.
No, that's
ain't no kid of mine not going outside to touch grass.
No, that's a fact. No, you're going to have to like more than anime. You can like anime, you can like all the nerd shit. You got to do more than just like anime.
You can like nerd shit, but like I care less about like you're gonna like good anime. So like maybe I don't show you Naruto, but you're watching My Hero as your gateway anime because maybe I can't stand the Naruto pacing. I got the manga. You can read it. You know what I mean? Like read it. It's fucking sick. And then if you want to ever see it animated, I'll show you it animated.
I think one of the things that also helps too, as we'll close out here, like, because when you said like cultural shift, my immediate thought was like somebody attached to something fucked up, right? So like, for example, a large part of why Kenshin is on the niche is because the author deserves to die and he's in prison for the rest of his life because he's a horrible fucking person. So that does contribute. Because I was...
bro, he's just a pedophile.
Yeah, he only had a terabyte of child pornography.
Yeah. Honestly...
Our president does too. Like, what's the difference?
Our president does too. Our president didn't even have a terabyte of it. He created his own fucking, like...
theme park.
Modeling agency.
Jesus Christ. Okay, so...
Look.
I don't want to be political about it.
Look, man. I thought... because like in America, because a lot of our biggest shows, like in Japan, a lot of the biggest shows are yes, a lot of their biggest shows are animated. Like anime is an entirely like it is cultural over there for them. Dope. And so what that means is like even when the voice actors get in trouble or do something, it's easier to replace a voice actor versus like in America because you associate with the actor so much. I don't know why it came up, but like my grandma and I used to watch 2.5 Men when I was a kid. Did your child watch 2.5 Men? Who knows? But 2.5 Men, it was really funny. It was at the height of TV. Charlie Sheen was getting hovered, if you believe the stories, supposedly millions of dollars an episode back then, which was insane. And he basically, like, his story is, it was groundbreaking when it dropped. It doesn't feel that groundbreaking now. And your boy did the interview. He's just like, look, man, I made so much money. I was doing so much drugs. I was fucking so many women. Like, I was going to crash out eventually. Like, someone should have figured this out. And I'm like, yeah, I get it. But, like, his downfall.
That era was also like, we loved a downfall. And now we're like, we can't admit that we love a downfall. We just expect it.
Correct. And his downfall, though, crashes the show that even when they bring on another superstar actor to take his place, it's like, no, you don't have the same show, you don't have the same product.
The magic's
versus
not there.
Correct. Because even
It's also
even
a
the
completely
other
different
actor.
show. What 2.5 Men did also is like a textbook case of what not to do with a show.
Although the ending's hilarious. I will give the director credit for that. The director dropping a... Have you ever seen the last 5 minutes of 2.5 Men?
Is it Charlie coming back from the dead?
So, well, he supposedly is never dead. Is the big reveal in the last episode is that Rose just finally kidnapped him and kept him as a slave inside her basement for 4 years.
Amazing.
And
That's so fucking funny.
He finally gets free, and he is now planning revenge because he is now pissed off that his brother, who he let live with him for years for free, just willingly accepted that he was dead so easily. And he's like, fuck you guys. So he basically tells Alan and Ashton Kutcher's character, I'm going to kill y'all. But he sends messages, right? And so the whole episode is just like, oh my gosh, Charlie's alive. He's going to kill us, blah, blah, blah. And the last 30 seconds are him you don't get to see his face, but it's basically like the traditional like shirt and shorts that he always wore, walking up to the front door, and someone conveniently, or they're bringing in a piano because he's going to get his house back, and he's a song maker. So piano's flying in, he's walking to the front door, and the helicopter loses the piano, and it falls on this Charlie Sheen character, and the camera pans out to the director sitting right outside the set and just goes, winning, and ends. And I'm just like, because they obviously had issues. They didn't like each other at the end of it. So he was like, fuck you. I brought your character back just to kill him myself. And I'm like, I respect Petty. Multi-million dollar show.
That whole era was like it. And I feel like we tried doing it because like it, I guess, works in British television, where they're totally cool with like changing out characters.
Yeah, see, I don't care for that.
I think the one that's gonna be doing it, or changing out leads, I should say. The Office had the same issue when they lost Steve Carell, and where you're just kind of like, there's a season and a half where we're just kind of, what the fuck are we doing, you know? But yeah, you see it a lot in British TV, I think, where they just go like, and yeah, let's just like change out the cast. Yeah, and I guess it works over there, but it does not hit here. I'm intrigued to see how The Pit does it. So The Pit is... Do you know anything about The Pit, Justin?
I know Tony watches it. I got nothing else.
Yeah, The Pit is it's a medical drama. It's kind of like... You remember the show 24?
Mm-hmm. I didn't watch it, but I know of it.
Okay, yeah. Yeah, so it's like that, but it's set on a 12-hour ER shift. A doctor's like ER shift. And part of that is, and the whole thing is they want to show how they want to make a show that that actually like shows what happens. They want to make it as real as possible. And one of the realities of ER doctors is apparently there's a lot of like turnaround with that world. Like, oh, we start in ER and then we go somewhere else. We had learned here and now we go somewhere else. And so there's a lot of talk of like, how long is the lead going to stay in the show? And will the show like lose its quality if the lead disappears? How will it transition that? How will people handle that? So that's a nice little experiment. I think I'm an optimist, but I'm also like, I know the patterns, and I'm like, if you lose your lead, I think you lose your show. Animation is obviously like different. Like Rick and Morty is a perfect example of that, where they lost the dude who voiced Rick and Morty, and so they got a guy to play Rick and a guy to play Morty, and it's been fine. Like, I think they're on like 3 seasons after 3 or 4 seasons after they got rid of the OG Rick and Morty voice. Like, it's genuinely fine.
Well, because voice acting is like, again, this is not to incite the sub and dub community. Like, you already kind of get that with anime naturally. Like, there is two voices in Naruto. Like, there's a very iconic English voice actor, and there's a very iconic Japanese voice actor. Goku, there's a very iconic English voice actor. There's a very iconic Japanese voice actor, and so it's like I think it's easier for anime fans to accept like a voice changing because you're never gonna lose the character. Like you don't. Again, you lose Charlie Sheen, you lose Charlie Sheen. You can't just like throw in a duplicate of him. If you lose the voice actor for Goku, like One Piece, I think Frankie's on his third VA in Japan, and I think Sanji's on his second or third. Like they've rotated that. Well, Frankie's did some funny stuff. So Frankie changed.
That's so funny.
So,
really? I thought Frankie was on his second. And I know when the voice of Chopper was giving birth, Chopper sounds different during Thriller Bark because she was on maternity leave.
Seconds. Let me see if I can find this. Oh, am I tripping? Okay, so Nami's had two, but one was because of a hiatus. She's now back to her original voice actor. Chopper's also had a hiatus, so he's had two technically, but it's the same person has had it, but when they left for a little bit, it was someone else. Frankie is just on his second. So this is the second guy. Yeah, so they've got 13 if you count temps, but otherwise they've had the same voice actors. So Nami's had a temp, Chopper's had a temp, Frankie's got a full-on replacement.
Yeah, I'm intrigued to see like a show like The Simpsons, which is kind of built around.
You can't replace Homer's voice. That might fuck me up.
Right? Like if Homer gets a different voice actor,
that would be jarring.
There's always talk of like how do you end The Simpsons, and the theory has always been like, oh, like the voice actors just die or quit, and like there isn't. I wonder if Disney would let that happen. You know, because like how many people can do a Homer Simpson voice, right? So many. And this is like they'll look at like how Rick and Morty did it, where it was like the guy that does Rick and Morty gets fired, right? And they go, okay, well, how many people can do a Rick voice? How many people can do a Morty voice? And then they do the audition, and then they're like, yep, good enough. Into the booth you go. And that's basically what happened. So I wonder if shows like The Simpsons that have been on with these crazy long voice actor legacy actor roles, I wonder if like a studio would let them die, or if they AI it, or they wouldn't AI it. They might AI it.
They'd keep all those old words.
I wonder if they would just let the show like go.
That's tough.
The voice of Bart Simpson is passed. Right? And it's like, okay, well, what do we do, you know?
That might be tougher, like, if you stay in the same language, like, again, and knock on wood, like, if somebody did have, like, Sean Schemmel, who's the English voice of Goku, like, would you ever transition to a second English voice? Versus, like, yeah, there's an English voice, a Japanese voice, but, like, would you ever transition from that iconic voice? Like, because I know the Luffy voice actor, she's talked about that before, whereas, like, she has made several, like, when the little bit of talks of like, okay, how much extra One Piece stuff will you do? She's always hesitant to do it because she's like, I just want to live to see the end of this role. So I don't want to, like, she won't take on other roles. She won't do other stuff because she's in her 60s now, I think. And she's
very like sparing with what role she takes on. She does she's a voice actor in Don to Don too.
Shit, for real?
Yeah, she voices the cat.
Is that a heavy talking role though, or I don't know anything about Dandadan besides the weird ass first episode.
It's not a lead role, but it is a role.
Like I know, like she's I think another one. I don't have all their names memorized, but it's like I know some of them because they're an older cast. Like they have vocalized that they've talked to Oda, and they're like, "Hey, big dog, how long is this gonna go on for? Because I don't know if you know this, we don't live forever, and they don't want to like." That is, they've talked about like that being a fear of like they don't want to pass before, and it would be so fucking weird of like and be tragic if you get to the last season of One Piece, well, season 2, maybe season 3 by that point, of One Piece, and it's like you're almost at the end. Now you don't get to Luffy's OG voice actor doesn't get to see Laugh Tale or the like whatever's the ending of One Piece. Like that shit would suck. Hey man, with that being said, I'm getting all kinds of text messages. Appreciate everybody as always. Don't forget to check us out. YouTube, Spotify, Apple, wherever you get your podcast. TikTok. Shout out to people on TikTok, man. Y'all aren't getting
Shout
any
out
nicer.
Kagurabachi.
Oh fuck. We're gonna have to do that next week. But we do have to get to that. I don't have time right now, but we do have to get to that. And maybe we can get to it when I've actually caught. I don't want to speed read it in a week. But we will get to that. That was
take your time, bro. It's so fun.
But we are going to get to Kagurabachi getting a teaser. Shout out to the Avatar fans, especially those of you that, put out the whole entire movie on the internet. We appreciate you. With that being said, we'll catch y'all next week.
Peace out, dudes.